add just a little bit of purple here on this side. So you have this really nice warm tan and a little bit of purple there, a little darker here. Again, the sun hits this side, a little bit of a shadow, and I'm feeling really good. That's a good way to go. On our Joan of Arc character, I'm gonna have a little bit of red with water and put a little bit under her eyes just to darken her eyes up a little bit, maybe around the face. There we go. It kind of gives it a little bit of a shadow. I'm gonna put a little shadow here, even though we don't have a line there. See that? So that's her. And that's the side, that's just the shadow, and she's getting, the sun's hitting this side here. So she's gonna be like this. This part's under the, a little bit of shadow there. And we may go back and just a little bit of red for the lips. But I don't want them to look like she's wearing lipstick, because I don't think that was going on. So just a little bit of that. There, okay, that's it. That looks good. That looks like lipstick. But anyway, she looks good. A little bit of red here. I need to put a little bit of blue under her eyes. I guess that might now look like she's, but just that dark under the eyes. We'll come back and we can even add some more. So we've got that. Let's look at her. Now we're gonna change direction here. The suit of armor has to have some blue in it. Again, it's gonna be sort of this warm, sort of metal. We talked about doing metal before. We did metal on the Bugs Bunny. A little bit of black, a little bit of blue and purple. And again, we got the light hitting this side, so this becomes the dark side here, like that, right? That's the highlight here. This is the dark. So the other side becomes dark like this, like that, underneath here. So we're putting the shadow in. Okay, and again, it's a little bit of black, a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue. Does make it a little bit different than the rest of the painting colors. So the light's here. This will be shadow on this side. See that? So this is the light. This is the shadow. Like this. A little shadow underneath this. And I think what we'll do is sort of hit this side of her chest right down the center like that. See that? So it kind of shifts. See that? So this is going to be dark. This is light. So again, and then actually, we could even put in a little bit of a shadow here. Let's see, that's the shadow of the of her sword. Oh, we get right there. That actually works pretty good. There's the shadow of her sword. Leave this white. And we might even add just a little bit of some blue in here just to kind of give it some contrast. I think a little bit of blue works. Because the armor is shiny, it is going to pick up a little bit of the sky. And then this is sort of her schmuck in here. She's got some material. Remember, we put a core into things. There, we'll just do that. And under her, in here, I'm gonna put a little bit of purple and black. And I'm gonna be very careful not to let that blend in with anything else. So we'll just do that for now. And that'll work. Okay, we'll put a little more shadow in once that dries. And I think we'll put just a little more of that dark right here in the center. See how in the center, so this is lightest light, this goes medium, and this is dark down the center. And that kind of gives it that shiny core kind of look. See that? A little bit of that on the bottom of the sword. Now the hilt, or this part, I guess whatever the handle is, that's usually sort of a brown. That's usually sort of a material. Oop, a little too much. Maybe a little bit of this sort of a brown color, just a little bit up this, like this. Okay. And I'm just going to put a little bit of some orange. Maybe tell on this. Make it look like it's metal. I think the yellow, a little bit of yellow here. And yellow here. Gives it sort of a bright, maybe a bronze sort of look. So you got this yellow, a little bit of orange. Leave the white, right? So now it has sort of a bronze, bright looking color to it. Let that dry. Oh, we didn't do her hands. So hopefully I got some of this color left over. Leave a bit of white highlight there. Fingers. Put some red in here. And even a little bit of shadow. Some of that dark color under the sword. That's her shadow, and underneath this, which is the shadow of her arm. Putting the shadow in is great because then it actually shows off the difference. You know that her arm is actually over the top of the sword. Got a little shadow here of her sword. We'll go dark in here a little bit. I think this starts to work out pretty good. I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to get too much detail in there. It's sort of further away from us. This goes here, maybe a little bit of shadow right underneath that. See that? So that's connected here. See that? So the shadow, we're going to cast a shadow there, very light shadow, put a shadow here, do that. That's kind of nice. I like this idea of making these things look a little bronze. I think that adding that actually looks pretty good. So a little bit of yellow and orange. Just a touch maybe on some of these parts like this, like it's an inlay. Inlay meaning it's like a piece of metal added on top another piece of metal. So this could be a little bit of that. See that? So it has sort of a brass or bronze, bronze. Kind of nice look to it. Yeah, so it looks like a little extra. Like her armor's got a little extra stuff going on. Her lipstick, that's sort of moving around a little too much. Let me pick that up. Pick that up a little bit. So all we got left really is her hair. Move that around just a little bit. And with that said, I think we'll just go for brown. And let's see. And I'm going to try and go brown underneath here. This might be the darkest color in the whole piece, just because it kind of just show her off a little better. Sort of frames her in here. So put the brown in. I'm going to leave parts of it white, like that. See that? I'm going to leave that white. Get in here. Because that's the highlight I want to see. I want to see that bright highlight of her hair. Same thing here. I'm going to leave that. So again, with watercolors, it's a lot of it's like what do you leave behind? And I think that'll work. A little dark in here. A little there, maybe a little bit like that. Might even just leave the top like that because you got the sun, you know, creating highlights in her hair. So I think that works. Maybe a few lines through here. again, with watercolors, it's like letting the paper come through. Always looks really nice. I think we'll do that. Just a little extra, maybe just a touch. Let's see if this works through there. Just a touch. There's a shadow for her neck. Comes in here like this. Actually, it's got to go this way. Whoop. Put the shadow on that side because we got the sun coming this way. So I just kind of clean this up a little bit in here. And I think we'll let that. Yeah, I think that's working pretty good. Tell you what, I'm gonna let that go, and then we'll come back just for some details.